Hey, welcome to Flite Test. I'm Josh.
And I'm Stefan.
And we have had an amazing 2016 full of a lot of really amazing designs from the community.
That's true.
And also from Flite Test.
Indeed. And what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the top 10 favorite DIY plans that we've had in 2016.
Now, no specific order, but we are going to list them from 10 to 1.
Correct.
So don't read it too far into it.
Don't do it. So we're going to start with number 10.
Yep.
The huge Kevin Teschner SE5 biplane.
Yes, Kevin Teschner, I swear I used a whole box of foam for this, but it seems like Flite Fest 2016 was the breeding grounds for some of the most crazy designs.
It was.
And that's where most of our designs are coming from, was from that one event.
Exactly.
Kevin Teschner not only took a whole box of foam, water resistant, and made this beautiful biplane, but he also 3D printed a ton of parts. And I think he used like seed spreaders for the wheels.
Yeah, he's a pretty talented dude.
Yeah, and the thing flew beautiful. So if you guys were at Flite Fest 2016, or you actually saw some of our recaps, you're gonna notice something that kind of looked like a guinea pig, that had tons of motors and just simply wouldn't die in our combat. And that was Bob.
Good old Bob.
Yes.
Babaloo.
The gentleman that designed Bob, he goes by Remzak on YouTube. I'm sorry we don't know your first name, but Bob simply wouldn't died. He was up in every combat, and there's even an adventure of Bob on YouTube, which we love watching.
Really? That's awesome. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So number 8, we're up to number 8. It's crazy already. 3D printed P38 from 3D Lab Print, which was an unbelievable flyer.
And it is fairly recent too to our lineup here. One thing we work a lot with is foam board, but 3D printers are really coming on strong, and 3D Lab Prints has done a really good job of coming out different designs and really good build instructional videos and downloadable PDFs to make a great build experience.
Right.
We got to fly their P38, and not only did it look great, but it flew great too.
Yeah, and in the sun, I just remember watching the video. Looked beautiful up in the air, majestic. It was a beautiful looking plane.
Number 7, if you guys remember air hogs from your childhood, there was a little plane called the Intruder.
Right.
And our favorite guy, who's also done all of our plans for us, Dan Sponholz, did a bigger version of this that flew a lot better than the original.
And him and his son were flying together at Flite Test.
They had
right?
a pair of them. Yep, they had a pair of them. Differential thrust. This thing could pinwheel and turn on a dime. It flew amazing. It looked amazing in the air.
It did. So number 6 was the FTC duck, and we have the main man right here who designed it, so we'll let you talk a little bit about it.
That inspiration came from about 3 or 4 other people on YouTube, and also our great friend Baloo from Germany.
Right.
It was a big inspiration behind us. If any of you guys remember as a childhood watching the great cartoon Tailspin,
correct,
you'll know what the Sea Duck is, and getting to design that and actually fly it in real life, the plane didn't disappoint. The differential thrust, the ability to carry anything, fly off the water. Also, people like Andre Ruscio and a whole bunch of community members have done some great videos with that.
And you got to fly a massive version with your son at Flite Test.
That was one of my favorite memories. Both of my kids took on some really big projects, and we stayed until about 2 in the morning and built I think it was like a 105-inch Sea Duck.
Wow.
That flew off a 6S, and it flew incredible. We ended up meeting at about 2 in the morning, and my son Michael, the youngest, actually flew it the rest of the Flite Fest season. He even flew it with the Pby Catalina, which will be up in the lineup. But great flying airplane in any size that you build it.
Indeed.
So number 5 is really dear to our Flite Test hearts.
Indeed.
Because it's the first project challenge that we issued at FT STEM School, and that was the Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. And what we have is we have an FT STEM School, the Mesa Foam Fighters. They actually designed the Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie that have interchangeable wings and interchangeable fuselages to make 9 unique models of jets that all carried a unique flight characteristic.
Yeah, and each one has its different characteristics, and you can change different things, but they all fly amazing.
Yes. And this was designed by 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. They did a phenomenal job.
So we're up to number 4, and that is the FT Aero.
FT Aero. Now the FT Aero is real special near to our heart. It's kind of like a beautiful picture of what happens when Flite Test collaborates with the community.
Right.
And both Phil Freibot and John Schizo got into the hobby and into wings while testing out the FT Aero and gave us their feedback. Great people from the community like Sean Morrison also took this to another level, posting some amazing videos. We've seen thousands and thousands of these wings get built because they literally build in a couple hours, and they fly phenomenal.
Yep.
So,
super easy to build, super easy to fly. A little bit, crazy, got some speed to it.
It has speed to it.
But if you've flown before, you know you love these kinds of planes.
For a couple sheets of foam in a couple hours, you can have a lot of fun. Right. So we really like the Aero.
Indeed.
All right, so number 3, we have another Flite Fest review here. Sam, right?
Right, Sam and his friends, they got to build a massive B-17, and if you haven't seen the video, you should go check it out. They maidened it at Flite Fest.
Yes. Matter of fact, from what I understand, they all came together. They communicated through the internet.
Right.
And they came together and built this thing at Flite Fest, test flew it, promptly crashed it, wing folded,
right.
And then they brought it back again, and then ultimately they put it in the combat. So exactly what Sam stated he wanted to do, he accomplished at Flite Fest, and the thing looked incredible.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
All right, so number 2.
Number 2.
Pby Catalina. Now this gentleman was a great part of the Flite Test community, and he also designed the mighty Mini Catalina.
That's right.
But what he built with a group of his friends friends at Flite Fest 2016 was not many at all.
Right. This thing was massive.
I think about 103 inches.
Yeah. I can't even remember how it. Yeah. I just remember picking the thing up and it was massive. And they had little motors on it.
Yeah.
Compared to the size.
Basically the equivalent of a C twin pack.
Right.
But it flew like a trainer, and it flew a beautiful scale speed, everything.
Yep.
And a matter of fact, he spent the last couple of days of Flite Fest flying in circles. And remember the big sea duck was up there. The Catalina. I think we even had a big monster cruiser up there.
There were so many big planes flying in there. It is an unbelievable experience.
He goes by Local Fiend on the Flite Test forums. Look it up. He has a really great plans for a mighty Pby Catalina as well.
Check it out. You'll love it. So we've reached number 1, and our good friend Andres Liu, he made this unbelievably amazing P-38 with it's decked out.
Yeah, Fowler flaps. Basically flies off of a 2-cell battery.
Crazy.
And it's 8-foot wingspan, but it flies about at running speed.
Right.
And it flies indoors. Andres is really passionate about building huge models that fly super slow and also are super light. He's built Messerschmitts in the past, but this last year he built a twin-engine P-38 Lightning with full function flaps.
Right.
And he even was kind enough to come on the show and show how he made those flaps, because instead of just dropping down, they actually function like legit Fowler flaps. So if you guys haven't seen that video already, check it out. Now, one of the most difficult things that we found was just narrowing this down to 10. There were tons of them. And a matter of fact, if there's any that we missed here, make sure you guys give out shout outs to your favorite designs that you saw in 2016 in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for contributing to the Flite Test family. You guys inspire us. You also inspire a lot of others. And that's why we want to kind of bring some recognition over what we saw in this past year. And we'll see you next time.